This is 6 Minutes, the Seriously International Daily Newscast. It's Tuesday, May 6th. I'm Roy Greenburgh.
And I'm Emma Albright. It's almost bedtime in Auckland, New Zealand, while people are just waking up in Rio de Janeiro. Here in the World Crunch newsroom in Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. Explosions and a huge fire are rocking Sudan's main port city. Hamas says there is no point to choose talks as Israel plans to capture all of Gaza. And our daily quiz question involves papal conclave secrecy. In our top story today, Friedrich Merz, leader of Germany's conservative CDU party, has failed to get the necessary majority in parliament to become the country's new chancellor. In a surprising turn of events, Merz fell 6 votes short in the first round of voting in the Bundestag on Tuesday. Merz's CDU has topped the polls in the national elections in February, and on Monday had reached a coalition agreement with the center-left Social Democrats. A second round of voting is set to be held on Friday. Multiple explosions have been heard and a huge fire has erupted in Port Sudan as the war between Sudan's army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces rocks the wartime capital for a third day. Smoke could be seen on Tuesday emerging from the vicinity of the country's main maritime port following the attacks on the city. The major hub for the army was also the place where hundreds of thousands of displaced people have sought refuge during the 2-year conflict. A senior Hamas official said there is no point in further talks on a new Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal. This comes after Israel approved on Monday an expanded offensive that may include seizing all of the Palestinian territory indefinitely. In Romania, Marcel Ciolacu has resigned as prime minister. This comes a day after the hard-right candidate George Simeon easily won the first round of the country's presidential election, and the candidate for Ciolacu's center-left Social Democrat Party failed to secure a spot in the runoff. Simeon, a Eurosceptic who has promised to put Romania first, is expected to win the runoff on May 18th. We now turn to Rome, where the search will begin tomorrow to choose Pope Francis' successor. Our More Than a Minute feature today is focused on the question of how long the conclave will last. Roy, what does the length of the conclave tell us about who could be the next pope?
First, to be clear, the length of a conclave is determined by how many rounds of ballots are needed to choose the pope. For that, a candidate must receive at least 2/3 of the participating cardinals' votes. After the first day, when a single ballot takes place, there are 2 rounds of voting during each morning and each afternoon session. The Catholic News Agency reports that over the last century of conclaves, the average number of ballots needed has been 8. Thus, a new pope typically arrives by the afternoon of the 3rd day. In this conclave's case, we could expect white smoke by Friday or Saturday, or of course, sooner.
So if it goes on longer than the 3rd day, what will that tell us?
Giacomo Gagliazzi, the veteran Vatican correspondent for Italian daily La Stampa, had a recent piece explaining the significance of a potential long conclave, typically a sign that negotiations haven't gone well in the past 10 days since the death of Francis. The cardinals have been spending the past week or more talking privately and publicly. Gagliazzi notes that many elector cardinals barely know one another.
There's increasing talk about a return of the papacy to the Italians.
The 2 leading candidates from Italy are Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's seasoned Secretary of State and top diplomat, and Cardinal Matteo Zuppi of Bologna, considered to be on the progressive wing of the church. Gagliazzi's sources say there has been no pre-conclave movement to block either one. "We have excellent relationships with both Parolin and Zuppi," one source told him. "The key is figuring out how many votes can realistically be gathered. Italy has a shot at reclaiming the papacy, but its 19 votes aren't united behind a single candidate, so a deal would have to be struck before the doors to the Sistine Chapel open."
We're closing things out today with our daily quiz question, which is also about the conclave preparations. What step is the Vatican taking to make sure the conclave stays secret? Is it going to A, install signal jammers, B, black out all the Vatican's windows, C, soundproof the Sistine Chapel, Or D, create a no-fly zone for drones over Vatican City? The answer is A. This Vatican plans to use signal jammers around the Sistine Chapel and deactivate all nearby mobile signals on Wednesday, ahead of the conclave to elect a new pope, to prevent spying on the secretive selection process. The 133 cardinals who are eligible to vote will also give up their phones and electronic devices today and will be cut off from the outside world until after a new pontiff is chosen.
That's the latest from around the world. If you like this podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. À demain.